A great leader to me is someone that sees the big picture, but they want to understand the pixels that make up the picture, or they see the forest, but they want to know what kind of trees are in the forest. I think great leaders are curious, and that motivates them to go out and get to know, if you're talking about an organization, the people on their team and who makes up that organization and what motivates them and inspires them. I think another thing that great leaders do well is they're not afraid to say that they don't know the answer to something. If you ask them a question, they're not going to answer you with a non-answer. They're going to say, you know what, I don't know that, but I'll go find out the answer, or I'll go find someone who can help me. Again, they're curious people. They always want to be learning. And because they show a real interest in the people on their team, I think that inspires those people. It motivates those people. It engenders a sense of loyalty in those people. And so I think that's what really makes a great leader. They're very inspirational, and of course sometimes that can be used for good or bad, but hopefully I think in an organization it helps drive that organization to the next level of success. Receiving the Economic and Community Impact Award on behalf of the Coca Cola Company is really amazing to me. The land that the Center for Civil and Human Rights is located on was donated to the center by the Coca Cola Company, and that's basically our involvement in the award. We facilitated the land that allowed the center to be constructed. That land was assembled by the company beginning in 1994, prior to the 1996 Olympic Games. When we completed the land assemblage, we had assembled over 20 acres, and at the time it was the largest undeveloped tract of land in the urban United States. So to now see that land become home to three major attractions, the World of Coca-Cola, the Georgia Aquarium, and now the National Center for Civil and Human Rights is really amazing, because the land, when it was originally assembled, was not in good condition. It was run down, and having that ability to come in and have the vision to develop that, complete the northern edge of Centennial Olympic Park in Atlanta, and help drive the revitalization of downtown Atlanta, it's really been an amazing process. So I think the ability of a company to come in and use its assets in a way that will benefit its business but also allow it to give back to the local community is a great thing. When I meet with someone in a mentoring situation or a manager situation, one of the first things that I encourage them to do is to understand the power of their network. A lot of people don't believe in networking, or they don't believe they have a network, and I think that's really untrue. A lot of times what I tell people to do is to just think of themselves as a spider, and you're in the center of your web, and as you start to build your web, the people immediately outside the center are your friends, your close family members, and then it might be other relatives, friends of your family, people that you went to school with. And as you start to build that, you'll start to see how that web really expands, and as it expands, you may think in your business, well, I really would like to meet someone at a particular company, but I don't have any way to reach them. But if you take your web and you look at your web, you might actually realize that though you're in the center and this person is up here on your web, there's someone in the middle that can connect you. It's kind of like the concept of the 6 degrees of separation. Another thing that I encourage people to do is to really be cognizant of their reputation and their integrity, because real estate's a very relational business, and people are always talking about other people, meeting with other people, and so your reputation is really what's going to carry you forward. And if you do something that really offends someone, you don't act in a way that's ethical, it's going to get out to the industry. So I always encourage people, especially young people that are just starting out in the industry, to be really protective of their reputation and be really clear about what they stand for. Another thing that I encourage people to do is pay it forward. I've always told people that I've mentored that if you have the opportunity, you become successful in your career later in life, and a young person comes to them and asks for advice, that they don't say, oh, I'm too busy, and brush them off. Remember that someone at some point in their career stopped and took the time to talk to them, and I encourage them to pay it forward. Another thing that I think is really important, and it's lacking a lot in this particular generation, are good communication skills. I've interviewed a number of people where they sit there like this, and I feel like what they want to do is they wish they could be looking down, texting their answers to me instead of talking to me, because they don't have the ability to look me in the eye and answer my questions. They don't have the ability to shake my hand. They can't write a good English sentence. So I think the young people today, the ones that are coming into the industry that are really proactive, that follow up on what they say, that don't think they're entitled to anything, that can look you in the eye, that can speak to you plainly, those are the people that are going to be successful in this business. And the last thing that I always tell people is don't be afraid to ask questions, because if you don't ask, you're not going to get. And I think it's really important to do that, because the worst thing anyone can tell you is no. So I think it's really important to be curious, to ask questions, because you never know what you're going to find out.